Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. I'm Ann Blackwood, your Silicon Valley Sage Sister, here to bring consciousness to the forefront of your daily life to make life a little kinder and simpler. And today I want to dig into talking about the truth, because this has been coming up in the universe lately with people I've been talking with and apparently with other people. And I saw someone else repost someone's post that was talking exactly about what I had been talking about when it comes to truth and telling lies, more specifically. And so I felt like that was a sign from the universe that it was time to dig into this. So the post that I posted talks about how when we lie for the sake of someone else's comfort, they might stay comfortable, but we plant a seed inside of ourselves that is a seed of destruction, is a seed of bad energy. And in my experience, and I talked about this a little bit in one of my other videos recently, when you just tell the truth up front, you are so much better off. What I talked about in one of my other videos recently was the fact that I have this 24-hour rule with my friends, and especially people that I've been in relationships with in the past, because, you know, you're better off with sort of rules, for lack of a better way of putting it, just in case. Even if you never, ever think that there's a chance something bad could happen, it's better to be prepared and then let it go than it is to not be prepared at all. So I have this 24-hour rule where you have 24 hours, I have 24 hours, we have 24 hours to tell each other the truth, to suck it up, no matter what happened, suck it up and sit down and talk. Because the longer you wait to talk to somebody about something that is bothering you, the more the guilt, the shame is going to bubble up inside of you, the more it's going to fester in you, and the more you wait, when they do finally find out, the more hurt they are going to be, because they're going to realize that you've been holding on to this, and so they're going to associate you with that time period of, that whole time period is going to also then retroactively have bad energy attached to it, negative feelings attached to it. As where, in my experience, if you just upfront tell the truth, people respect you more, they're more willing to work with you. So I will never forget the first time anyone experiences the 24-hour rule with me in real life, because they come to me, they have a problem, they're telling me right away, and I'm more willing to work with them, I'm more willing to forgive them if there's something for me to forgive them for, and we can move forward because I respect that honesty. And because it's just easier to deal with it right off the bat than retroactively realizing that this person has been lying to you this whole time. That hurts a lot when you finally find out that someone has been lying to you this whole time, whatever that period of time is. And people respect honesty. People respect, they know what it's like to want to put something like that off. So they respect knowing that you came to them up front. Yeah, they might still be upset, but they're going to be far, far less upset knowing that you didn't keep something from them, knowing that you weren't lying to them. Because even if you don't lie to them about it, even if you just keep it from them and they don't even know that there was something to lie about, or that there was something that you've been keeping from them, again, once they find out, bam, you have this whole span of time that becomes retroactively attached to those bad feelings. So learning to make sure that you are confident enough in recognizing that this is something that happened, this is something that needs to be talked about, this is how I feel, this needs to be talked about. Because here's the other thing. Let's say it has nothing to do with something bad that anybody did. Let's say we're talking truth-wise when it comes to like being honest about how you feel about something. Because this applies just as much to this too. When you lie to somebody about how you feel, you are now lying to them about who you are and how you feel about them. And so, especially if something like that comes out, now that person, whether it comes out or not, is operating on a false idea of who you are and what you're okay with. And that could affect how they are with you. That can reflect how they feel about you. And in my experience, and I say this a lot because I want to remind people of this as much as possible, whenever I have people come to me and be like, oh my gosh, I told the truth, or oh my gosh, I upheld my own boundaries, or I spoke up for the first time about my boundaries, and people actually respected me more. Yeah, because when you respect yourself and you respect everybody else enough to give them the truth, they will respect you more. You are disrespecting people when you lie to them, even if you think it'll make them more comfortable. And you're lying to them about who you are, not just about the situation, because you're lying to them about what you're comfortable with and how you feel about a situation. And so that then starts building this false perception of who you are and what you're okay with. And why would you want to spend time with someone who didn't like you for who you were anyway? Because as I remind people, the people who don't like you for who you are aren't going to like you for who you... Rewind. Restart. All the people who don't like you for who you are aren't going to like you for who you think they want you to be. I promise you. The people who don't like you for who you are aren't going to like you for who you think they want you to be. Because that's what we're operating from. We will never know what they want you to be. We can only assume what they want you to be. We can only assume what they want us to be. Even if they tell you, that might not be the truth. You never know. So we can only ever operate from what we think others want. So I guarantee you, you are going to be 110% better off operating from a place of authenticity than operating from a place of this is what I think others want of me. So, because you'll never know. You'll never really know. So yeah. It's always better to tell the truth. And if you really feel like you can't tell the truth, then don't say anything at all. Because that at least isn't a lie. But in my experience, you are better off telling the truth and working through that, because if someone is worth your time, they will be willing and able to work through whatever it may be with you. So that's why I implemented the 24-hour rule. That's why I came up with the 24-hour rule, because it gives someone 24 hours to be quiet and contemplative and figure out how they want to talk about it. You know, sometimes it is better to sit and wait and think, but you don't want to do it for too long. So that's not to say that you should just say anything and everything you think. That's not to say, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that we should always, every time we think something, say it. That's not it at all. There is absolutely something to be said for making sure that we take the time to slow down and think about it, because it might be that we feel one way about something right off the bat, but then, you know, slowly but surely think about it, figure out different things about it, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, well, now my reaction to this isn't quite as strong, and the truth might be a little different. So definitely give yourself some time for contemplation. That's why the 24-hour rule is as it is, because jumping right in isn't necessarily always the best thing either. But once you've really figured out whatever it is that you need to tell somebody, whatever it is you feel, don't give yourself too long, because the longer you give yourself, the more you are lying to the person, the more that you're giving them a false perception of who you are, the more it will hurt them, the more it will hurt you. Lying for someone else's comfort will always plant that seed of negativity in you, no matter what. So you guys can either start from the truth and work it out, or not. But if not, you are going to be hurting yourself, even if you're temporarily allowing them to be feeling a little more comfortable, because it always comes out. It always comes out in the end. Even if it doesn't come out specifically, whether it end up being that it actually comes out or that just the relationship ends up falling apart, you know, that's one more seed of destruction you're sowing in yourself for that relationship, so that the other person can be a little more comfortable, and maybe not for long. So, you know, always tell the truth, or at least don't lie, is a rule of life from Jordan Peterson. And it's an important one, because lying, whether or not it hurts the other person, it hurts you every time, because you're living a lie. You're not living from a place of your true and authentic self when you're lying. And anybody that's worth being around is going to be willing to sort the truth out with you. All right, guys, thank you for joining me for another video. Definitely go check out all the links in the description. Remember to subscribe. I absolutely hate talking about this and bringing it up, but I want that custom URL. So remember to subscribe. I'll only talk about it until I get the custom URL, so I can be at youtube.com/balanceblackwood rather than youtube.com/randomly generated blah blah blah. I have my new moon energy update coming out tomorrow evening on Patreon, and I have all sorts of other awesome free content over on Patreon, as well as my subscription-based content. I am also in between session cycles. I have officially opened up registration for the next second session cycle, of which I am taking 13 people this time, rather than, usually I take about 5 to 7. This time I'm going to be taking about 11 to 13. Cosmic consciousness, source, spirit, God, higher self, intuition, whatever works for you, told me it was time to start leveling up. So I am taking on more clients, one-on-one clients for this next session cycle. So if you're interested in learning more about the growth and expansion and healing that I do with others one-on-one and think that sounds like it might be something for you, definitely fill out the free clarity call form so that we can connect one-on-one, because if you're ready for healing, growth, and expansion, even if we're not the right fit, because like any relationship, you've got to be the right fit. I work with some amazing, amazing people around me who might be the right fit for you. And my number one goal is to help guide you to healing, through your healing journey and through your growth and expansion, even if that means guiding you to someone else to help you do that. So, check out the Patreon. Oh, and last but not least, my email update is about to go out for this month. I do one email a month, so you can also sign up for the mailing list if you check out those links in the description. All right, guys, may the energy you serve you well, and let's keep making our way through.